Hi everyone, my name is Hariss. We're going to be going over a very unique topic, and that is ChatGPT. So just a quick disclaimer before we get into it. This presentation is for general information purposes only, so if you have any legal questions as it relates to your particular case, please reach out to a lawyer. And so to start us off, I want to discuss what exactly is ChatGPT. Well, ChatGPT is an AI, or artificial intelligence, chatbot made by the artificial intelligence company OpenAI. To put it simply, it's a computer program that can converse with you. It's designed to understand what you're saying and to respond appropriately based on the context. It acts kind of like a virtual assistant, and it does a number of various things. It answers questions, provides information, provides explanations, edits works, creates software coding, a whole other number of things, and we're still exploring what exactly ChatGPT can do for us. And so how does it work? Well, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty details of it all, but since there is a lot of higher level understanding to software development, but essentially what it does is it uses AI and a large amount of text data to learn how to communicate in a human-like way. So it uses patterns and examples from its training data to generate coherent responses to your questions. But it's important to understand that it doesn't really have an understanding or consciousness like a human does. It just, based off of the data that it receives, it'll respond appropriately. The truth of the matter is that ChatGPT has taken society by storm. And it's opened up a whole plethora of different possibilities in a whole number of fields that can be truly understood to be a revolutionary and transformative force. And for this video in particular, we're going to be looking at how we can utilize ChatGPT when it comes to the legal field, and to focus on how we can use it to increase access to justice by helping non-lawyers and self-represented litigants in particular. There are two main ways that ChatGPT can help us and that I want to go over. Firstly, when it comes to document generation, and secondly, when it comes to legal research. And so to begin with document generation, we know that the law requires a large amount of written text. Emails, memos, affidavits, contracts, security agreements, wills, factums, and a whole number of different written works are all required by the law in a various number of situations. For these written works in particular, ChatGPT can be really helpful in creating templates and automated documents that can be really easy to fill out. The benefit of all that? For lawyers, it allows them to concentrate on actual legal analysis instead of the tedious work of creating these documents. And for non-lawyers, it allows them to create legal documents that they would otherwise have trouble creating. So I wanted to show how exactly we can use ChatGPT for document generation. So here I am on the ChatGPT website, which you can access from chat.openai.com. You need to create an account. Earlier on, I asked ChatGPT if it could create a contract for me for the sale of a car. We see that it generates a lot of the details that we would normally see in a regular contract. So if me, not knowing how to generate the sale of a car, if I wanted to sell my car and I was unsure of how to do it, I simply come to ChatGPT, put in a simple prompt, and it generates all of this, and it allows me to fill it out with whatever details I need. We see that normally for something like this, we might have to go to a lawyer and, maybe have to pay some money in order to get it done. But here, simply through access of ChatGPT, we can get it done on our own, by ourselves, no money required. So here we have another example of document generation by ChatGPT. So I asked ChatGPT, can you give me an example of how a self-represented litigant can use ChatGPT to create legal documents in the family law context? ChatGPT lays out a whole scenario for me, wherein a self-represented litigant asks that they need help in creating a child custody agreement for their family law case. ChatGPT asks for relevant information, it's provided here, and then it lays out a whole template on how it can be done. All you need to do is fill in the information appropriately. So we see how easy and convenient it can be to just simply come to ChatGPT and ask it for help in creating important legal documents for us. So the second way that ChatGPT can really help us in the legal field is through legal research. So we can use ChatGPT to find relevant laws for the particular situation that we're in. We can then use it to help us understand important legal principles for our case. Then we can use it to find relevant case law research for whatever it is we need to look for. We see that there are some pros and cons to using ChatGPT. The pro is that it allows for ease of access to legal information that would otherwise be pretty difficult to find on our own. con, and as we're going to see, is that it can honestly be pretty inaccurate at times. So I have an example here that will hopefully illustrate how we can use ChatGPT to help us with legal research. So as it relates to helping us find relevant law relating to the situation, I asked ChatGPT, what is the relevant law in Ontario for division of property upon divorce? And ChatGPT points me towards the Family Law Act. And it gives me a general description of what it contains and the information that I need to know. Now, let's say that I'm reading this information and I come across this concept of net family property, which is a principle of law that I'm unaware of. I asked ChatGPT, can you further describe what net family property is and simplify it for me? And it does exactly that. It describes it for me, and it even lets me know how I can calculate it on my own. Now let's say that I'm looking for case law. I need to develop a case for myself. I asked ChatGPT, what are some relevant cases relating to net family property in Ontario? And it provides me with a list right here. And here we see the benefit of ChatGPT is that it gives us access to information that would otherwise be pretty difficult for us to find. But the con is that a lot of these descriptions that it gives of these particular cases are wrong. What's weird is that these cases are actually relevant for the topic, but the descriptions are inaccurate. So just a reminder for us to do our due diligence whenever we're using ChatGPT. Here I have another example of how we can use ChatGPT for legal research. So I need help finding relevant law relating to the situation, and the situation is this. I live in Ontario. I was given property by my parents before they passed away. Other beneficiaries under the will now want to claim that property. What are the relevant legal principles? And ChatGPT provides us with a number of different considerations for us to take in. And let's say I'm reading through and I come across testamentary capacity, which is a legal principle that I don't really know much about. So I asked ChatGPT, can you explain more about testamentary capacity? And it does exactly that. It provides information, it gives me the relevant points, and it helps me better understand what exactly it is. Now let's say I want to build a case, so I asked ChatGPT, what is the relevant case law and statute relating to testamentary capacity? And here we see another one of the cons of ChatGPT is that sometimes it doesn't really give you the answer that you're looking for. So here it gets a little bit confused and it doesn't really know what to do, and so I ask once again, what is the relevant case law? And once again, it doesn't really know how to respond. And so I kind of reframed the question. So I asked, what are some relevant cases relating to testamentary capacity? And once again, it notes that it doesn't have access to up-to-date database of case law, but it still points us towards the general direction that we're looking for. And this case in particular, Banks versus Goodfellow, is the seminal testamentary capacity case in the common law. And I looked through all these other cases here, and they were all indeed relevant, and the descriptions were accurate. So while in the previous example, the descriptions were inaccurate, in this case they were accurate, and they would be pretty helpful for us. And at the very least, it points us towards the right direction that we're trying to get to. So far, all of our discussion has been on ChatGPT, but there is also a growing number of alternative AIs that we can use to help us with our legal work. And among the most prominent is Bing AI. And the main difference between Bing AI and ChatGPT is that Bing AI has access to the internet. And so it can provide us with the most up-to-date information available. So to use Bing AI, firstly, you have to use Microsoft Edge. So you can't use any other web browser. And here I am using Bing AI, and I ask it a simple question. What is the most recent Supreme Court of Canada decision? And it's able to provide me with an answer. It says in June 30th of 2023, the case of R and Basque. And so I ask, what is the case about? And it's able to give me a brief summary of the case. And if we go onto the Supreme Court website, we say that it's accurate. This is the latest decision that the Supreme Court of Canada has come to. And the explanation given here matches the explanation given on the Supreme Court of Canada website. But if we go to ChatGPT, we ask it the same question, what is the most recent Supreme Court of Canada case? You see that it even tells us that its knowledge cutoff is September 2021. So it can't really help us with recent information. It can't even access the internet. All it does, it's collected a whole bunch of data up until 2021, and it can go through that. Anything after that, it does not have the most up-to-date information. And aside from Bing AI, there's some other paid alternative AI services that are available online. So there's Legal Robot, and the main purpose of Legal Robot is to help people understand legal language. There's a focus on increasing access to legal information. It also provides a number of other services, so it can analyze contracts, simplify language, go through different legal documents. And the second one is Do Not Pay AI. And this is also a paid online legal service and chatbot, and it provides a robot lawyer through use of AI. And the site claims that it can be used to provide a variety of legal services, and number one among these services, and how it rose to fame, was through defense of parking tickets. However, it's important to note that Do Not Pay is actually going through a class action lawsuit right now. They're being sued for practicing law without a license and for misrepresenting its product. So some of these paid alternative services may not be the best method of helping you with your legal case, but nonetheless, they're there if you're ever looking into alternatives. So in conclusion, I hope there are three main things that you take away from this video. Firstly, that the relationship between the law and AI is growing, and it will continue to grow the more that we learn about how to use artificial intelligence. Secondly, that we can use AI to our benefit as a means of accessing and understanding the law. I showed examples of how we could use AI to help find relevant law to a particular situation, how it can help us understand principles of law, and how it can even do specific case law research for us to help us build our cases. And thirdly, that we should still be cautious as to the information that we receive and the services that we use. AI is still a growing field, we still don't know everything about it, and we see that it still can be inaccurate in the information that it provides us. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and if you're looking for more videos similar to this one. This has been Hariss, and I hope you have an amazing day.